Looking at our world from a theological perspective. This is the Theology Central Podcast, making theology central.
Good evening, everyone. It is Friday, May the 20th, 2022. It is currently 9:41 p.m. Central Time, and I'm coming to you live from Abilene, Texas. About 5 minutes ago, I was downstairs, and I was having my evening devotional time. And I came across this quote that just really hit me. And I thought, you know what? I don't have a lot of time, but I'll run upstairs, hook everything up, and go live and at least share some initial thoughts. Just kind of share this with you. Hopefully it will be beneficial. Hopefully it will give you something to think about, something to meditate on. It will be somewhat edifying to you. And clearly I'm going to have to spend some more time fleshing this out. I didn't even have an opportunity to write anything down. I think the only thing I did is I grabbed my iPad and went to the notes section, and I kind of took the note, and then I took the thing that I saw, the thing that I read, the thing that I heard it first, and then I looked it up, and I took that and I modified it a little bit, but I hope it will be beneficial to you. But I think the way to do this, right? So this is just going to be a short devotional thought. So don't expect this to be one of my normal broadcasts that goes an hour long. So don't be disappointed, all right? Yeah, I know. You're going to be like, yay, it only was 10 minutes long. All right, here we go. I want you to think about this. When you think about the world of Christianity, when you think about your church, when you think about your Christian life, what do you think are some of the most important issues to Christians, to the church, to Christianity at large? What are some of the most important issues, the issues that they are bothered by, the issues that they are concerned about, the issues that they seem to talk about over and over and over again? If you were just to grab a notebook right now, and I'm like, okay, what do you think are some of the most important issues to Christians? What are those issues? You may say abortion. You may say the cultural acceptance of LGBTQ, the spread of homosexuality, Disney, music, movies, Netflix. Who knows? It may be sexual sin, pornography. It may be doctrine, theology. What do you, of all the issues, what do you think would be in your top 5? All right, I want you to think about that. If you want to, well, I mean, this is a live broadcast. So if you're listening live, you can't do this. If you're not listening live, hit pause right now and really grab a notebook and just write down what you think are the 5 most important issues to most Christians, like issues that are really, really significant to them, are important to them, issues that they may get a conference about them. Now, as you think about all of those issues, where do you think this one would rank? I want you to be honest, even with yourself, this is a question I've been asking myself, even as I was walking up the steps to where I broadcast. I was thinking this. Where does this rank for me? But here it is. Are you ready? Spiritual fruit. Where does spiritual fruit rank in the minds of many Christians? Now, many Christians will look at it from this perspective. Well, spiritual fruit, if I don't have enough spiritual fruit, I'm not saved. I don't even want you to look at it from that perspective. I want you to think about this. Think about it this way. Where did the following things rank in order of importance in the minds of most Christians? Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. Now, we definitely talk about this spiritual fruit. We definitely mention it. But sometimes of all the things we're bothered about, all the things we're upset about, sometimes it seems like that when we're talking about all of these things we're bothered about, all these things that we're upset about, all these things that we may be fighting for, all of the things that we may be worried about, here's what happens. We will talk about spiritual fruit. We may even say it's an important issue, but what I feel happens is all of the other times when we're worried about all of these other things, you know what doesn't seem to be present? Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. So many times when Christians are bothered or upset about this issue or this issue, there seems to be no love in us, no joy in us, no peace, no long-suffering, no gentleness, no goodness, no faith, no meekness, and no temperance. I think that we need to make spiritual fruit, those specifically, that spiritual fruit that's listed right there, maybe we need to spend some time making it a priority, because maybe we've been distracted by all of these issues, contending for the faith, culture wars, politics, fighting about so many things. But even in our fighting, what I think is missing over and over and over in the lives of many Christians, including the one speaking to you this evening, is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. Now, here is the quote. So there I want you to consider the significance of spiritual fruit, but then I want you to consider this. Spiritual fruit is the result of what? Here's the quote I heard. Now, I added the word spiritual. Spiritual fruit is the external result of an internal relationship. Spiritual fruit is the external result of an internal relationship. See, I think we can run around and be worried about all kinds of things in the Christian life. Morality, doctrine, theology, church issues, culture wars, family. And we can be running around just busy, arguing, fighting. And sometimes we can do all of that. But guess what? It may not be necessarily flowing from an internal relationship, but spiritual fruit is the external result of an internal relationship. If we're really going to demonstrate that spiritual fruit, really demonstrate love, joy, peace, long-suffering, goodness, meekness, temperance, if we're really going to demonstrate that externally, it's going to be real. It's not a facade. It's not fake. It's not the plastic fruit. It's the real thing. This is arguing that it will be the external result of an internal relationship. Now, some would say would be the result of the internal dwelling of the Holy Spirit. So do you think it's just the presence of the Holy Spirit and then all of that fruit appears? Where there's lots of Christians who have the Holy Spirit, who this fruit sometimes seems to not be present. So is it a relationship? In other words, the fruit is an external result of an internal relationship that we have with God, that the Holy Spirit plays a part of. What do you think about this quote? Spiritual fruit is the external result of an internal relationship. What do you think? Do you think it's a biblical concept? Do you think it's not a biblical concept? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think we need to modify that? I want you to understand the significance of spiritual fruit. But if it's so important, and I think it's missing, then how do we become people who, how do we become the people where that fruit is seen, that it's a reality? This says spiritual fruit is the external result of an internal relationship. The problem is, where I read this, they didn't offer any other explanation or no clarification. That was it. Spiritual fruit is the external result of an internal relationship. What do you think? And what has been your experience with spiritual fruit in your Christian life? Now, I'm going to stop right there. There's far more I want to say, but I'm going to stop there, and maybe we'll come back and look at this. Well, we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of things. Well, there's always things I need to come back and talk about, but I just want to throw this out there tonight. Just place it before you, and you can tell me what you think. newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. Spiritual fruit is the external result of an internal relationship. That relationship there. See, I thought when I started reading it, my mind was already filling in the words, and I was like, spiritual fruit is the external result of the internal dwelling of the Holy Spirit. But they went with internal relationship. That's to me, that adds a dimension that maybe we need to talk about. So you let me know. newsif@yahoo.com. All right, everyone have a great evening. And I may do one more thing tonight. I don't know. If not, tomorrow we'll be doing live broadcasts throughout the day. So make sure you check in. All right, thanks for listening. God bless.